Merhaba merhaba Gabi Noktis'ten herkese merhaba, ona da buna da bana da size de ama herkese merhaba. Xbox sunumu ile ilgili en çarpıcı olan da tabii ki herkesin beklediği, daha doğrusu baya bir büyük yapım olan Starfield Bethesda Games'in iddialı yapımına bakacağız. Ayrıntılı bir şekilde zaten yaklaşık 45 dakikalık bir skill'den tutun da karakter yapımından tutun da evrenden tutun da oyunu işte adamlar bu şekilde 45 dakikalık muazzam akıllı soru işareti bırakmak yerine daha tanıtıcı işte biz buyuz böyle olacak oyun şöyle olacak şeklinde aslında birçok stüdyodan da beklediğimiz bu olmalı. Ona bakacağız dostlarım. Bethesda Games'in Starfield oyununa derinden bakacağız. İlk önce fragmanı izleyelim, sonra 45 dakikalık güzel bir şekilde ayrıntılı bir şekilde ben İlk defa izleyeceğim. İlk defa izleyeceğimden dolayı da ben de o yüzden de keyif alacağım. Çünkü sunumun son 45 dakikası buna ayrılmıştı. Ben sunumun canlı izlediğim halde son kısmını izlememiştim. Sizlerle birlikte izleyeceğim. Beğenini yorumunu eksik etme diyorum. Hadi bakalım Bethesda Games'in aynı günde yani Xbox Game Pass'e de eklenmesi lazım Starfield'ın. Öyle biliyorum. Yanlış söylemeyeyim de ona bakarız. Büyük bir iddialı bir oyun ve merakla beklenen bir oyun. Ona bakacağız. Haydi bakalım dostlar. Beğenini esirgeme. Bak oyun yorumlarda görüşürüz. Oyunlarda da görüşürüz. Haydi bakalım. Evet. Nereye? Buraya basıyorduk. Evet. Hemen şunu ayarlayalım. Tamam. Hem fragmanımızı izleyelim. Sonra 45 dakikalık oyunu gerçekten muazzam bir şekilde tanıtıyorlar. Ben böyle bir tanıtım tabii ki görmedim. Sadece ilk bir 3 ya da 5 dakikasını izledim. Ondan sonrasını bugüne sakladım. Dedim ki yarın kayıt al. Oyun canavarları ile birlikte izle. Evet. Haydi bakalım. Starfield Gameplay Trailer.
Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. The wonder is not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it.
Skyrim ve Fallout 4. İkisi de dev bir oyun. Yani. Yani.
We're all here because we're committed to the biggest question of all. What's
Orada ne var? Orada ne var? Ben size şunu söyleyeyim dostlar. Keşif ve bir anlamda keşif ve Survivor gibi. Yani hayatta kalmaya çalışıyorsun. Keşif o daha ağır basıyor gibi. Ama keşfederken de şu var. Aldığın kararlar, seçimlerden dolayı birçok gezegen var. Evet. Bak bu oyunla ilgili hiçbir şeyim yok yani. Bir beklentim ya da yükseldiğim bir konu yok. Sadece bu keşif olayı şu an hani beni cezbetti diyebilirim. Çok başarılı bir oyun olacak. Çok belli yani. Şimdi daha derinlemesine 45 dakikalık o videoyu izlediğimizde anlayacağız.
Another great secret the universe is asking us to unravel. Human settlements throughout the galaxy could be at risk.
İşte. Şimdi keşfedeceğin gezegende nelerin sana karşı geleceği, ne başına geleceği, kimlerle karşılaşacağın belli değil.
Whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity forever.
Sonsuza dek.
This is where we belong.
Starfield. Şimdi şöyle bir şey var. Aldığın karar seçimlere göre yani birçok gezegen var. Her gezegende keşife çıkabiliyorsun. O gezegende neyin seni beklediğini bilmiyorsun. Oyunun en başında tek bir soru sorduk dedi. Orada ne var işte. İşte bu merakla birlikte oyunun temelini oluşturuyor. Ve insanoğlu için çok büyük bir adım denilen şey de bu. Yeni yaşanabilir, yeni yeni bir insanoğlunun çağını oluşturabilecek bir gezegen. Aslında buradaki dediğim gibi yani Survivor'dan daha kısa keşif aslında benim düşüncem. Keşif odaklı olması çok keyifli. Hadi bakalım. Aa, 6 Eylül. 6 Eylül 2023. Süper. Evet, Game Pass'e geliyor. Çok iyi. PC Game, Steam, Xbox Series X ve S ama yeni nesil konsol. Ancak Game Pass'e geliyor. Keyifli yeni nesil konsolda. Evet, konsolu illa yenile diyorlar. Xbox One X var bende. Ama zor. Evet dostlar, hemen 45 dakikalık o güzel videoya geçelim. Evet, onu da keyifle izleyelim. Çünkü bu videoda bize her şeye bir anlamda sunacaklar. Merakla bekliyorum. Şimdi şöyle söyleyeyim. Karakterden tut da skill, gemiler, ondan sonra space flight yani uçuşlar, yani combat, her şey var. Bunu keyifle izleyelim istiyorum. Yaklaşık bir saatlik bir video olacak ama meraklısına. Ben zaten ne yapıyorsam sevdiğimden yapıyorum. Artık benim gibi seven için yapıyorum. Haydi bakalım. Diyelim geçelim. Başlıyoruz. Keyifle izleyelim. Hadi bakalım. Şey çok güzel ya. Hani böyle uzay filmlerinde yeni bir gezegene düşersin de orada mesela keşife çıkarsın, yeni bir şeyler bulursun. O oyun onu direkt yansıtıyor. O çok keyifli bir şey. Hadi bakalım.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today and welcome to Bethesda Game Studios. You know, we've been so lucky over the decades to make the kind of games that we love here. And that's thanks to all of you, from the Elder Scrolls to Fallout. We love creating these worlds and playing in them just as much as you do. And throughout all that time, we'd often talk about and dream up the space game. What if we could take that feeling of being who you want to be and exploring a new world, but set it in space, where you weren't really limited in where you could go or what you could do? And that is Starfield. Obviously, we've come a long way since then with the games we've built, our technology, and all of us here in the studio. We've done so much together, but, well, we've never tried to make a game like this. Today, you'll get to hear from many on the team and see so much of what we think makes our game special. So, let's jump in and take a look.
Gerçekten adamlar çok başarılı ya. Çok. Hadi bakalım.
Starfield is our first new universe in over 25 years, but it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through, where you step into a new world and you get that feeling of unlimited possibilities.
Wow,
But this
sınırsız
time,
olması çok
it's
güzel.
not just one world. It's over 1,000 worlds.
Binden fazla
Because
dünya.
the choice of where to go, it's not ours, it's yours. And it wasn't until
Bu
now
oyun
that we had the
oyun
technology
çok güzel.
to create it.
Bende bir de atmosfer delisiyim yani o keşif delisiyim, atmosfer, manzara delisiyim. Ya birçok dünyayı, birçok gezegeni diyeyim. Deliler gibi gezerim yani.
Actually there orbiting the planet. Yes, you can visit it too. We realistically simulate the galaxy around you.
Süper ya.
Our next generation lighting model uses real-time global illumination to light the world based on the type of star and the makeup of the planet's atmosphere. We also have an all-new animation system. And of course, you can play it in third person.
Çok iyi.
And you can play it in first person.
Çok iyi. Hem birinci şahıs hem üçüncü şahıs. Bu iyi.
We love exploration and rewarding it, but you do explore differently in this game given its scale. That usually involves exploring an area you've landed in. You can collect resources, do a mission, and maybe even stumble upon something unexpected.
Aynen. Şey çok güzel geldi ya. Çok oturaklı geldi mesela silah sesi. Çok iyi. Abi konsolu mu yenilesek?
We do love
Çok
stuff and
iyi
all
ya.
of the items allowing you to pick everything up.
Aa,
You can
loot.
view all that in your data menu.
Loot olsun çaydan olsun.
This is the hub for everything you're doing, from your
Beceriler.
skills to your ship, your missions, and your inventory.
Ben
You
hayran
love to
kaldım
pack
ya.
a ton of detail in every object, from all of your weapons to spacesuits to food. We just obsess over the details, and food. We obsess over food.
Çok iyi.
When you're done exploring, you can walk back or fast travel to your ship. We have companions and crew you can take with you. I left Vasco here back at my ship.
Welcome back, Captain Howard.
And he can even say your name. Let's head out.
Abi sınır yok ya, sınır yok. Gemin var. Senin bir gemin var ve istediğin yere gidebiliyorsun. Keşif yapabiliyorsun. Süper ya.
To evoke the romance of the golden age of early spaceflight. And we've been referring to this approach as NASA Punk. This means a design language where the tech is advanced, yet still looks grounded and relatable.
For us, it's that contrast. That's where the visual interest is. Obviously the NASA, which is the rigid, hard function over style, and then Punk, which is all about style.
You can see that visual style coming through in your ship. Your ship is your home for you and your crew. And like many of the spaces in our game, it has a slightly retro and analog touch, a bit of lo-fi rather than sci-fi, where everything is well used, worn, and lived in.
Çok iyi.
What's the plan, Captain?
This is your star map. It starts with the planet you're currently on. You can see all of its info and resources. You can choose a landing spot or fast travel to known locations. Backing
Şuraya
out
bak ya.
further, you can view all the
İniş
planets in the
noktası bile
system.
rastgele
Obviously, the
seçiyorsun.
game is big, and it's here you can see planets that have key locations, missions, or life
Vallahi
on them,
dostlar ben
versus the many planets that are barren but
şaşkınlıkla
resource heavy.
izliyorum. Çok keyif verici ya.
Zoom out even further to see all the systems
Yani
in
o
this part of the
sınırın
galaxy.
olmaması,
Here you can
sınırsızlık,
plot a course to
keşif.
ones that are light years away. This uses your ship's grav drive to fold space and jump to these systems. And you will need to upgrade your ship and skills if you want to jump to the most distant ones. But for now, we'll plot a course to the Alpha Centauri system where we can find the city of New Atlantis.
Okey. Yani gemiyle aslında yol almanın da gemi skill'lerinin olduğu, geminin yükseltilmesi gerektiğini söylüyor. Keyifli.
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. You are cleared for landing at New Atlantis.
Abi bir kere uzay hastaları var, Star Wars hastaları var. Muazzam yapmışlar ya.
As soon as you land in a city like New Atlantis, your eyes are guided upwards to just these boundless, vast buildings.
It's the biggest city we've ever made, not just in size, but also in the amount of custom art, crowds, and quests.
New Atlantis'e.
So the main focus when we're designing a city is obviously what supports the story. We try and tell as many small stories as possible.
This is a Colony War memorial.
It's a few moments of gameplay that make the space feel like it's full of real characters that are going about their day-to-day lives.
It's paralyzing if you really stop and think about it.
Buddy, it's coffee.
It's also where your adventure with Constellation begins.
Okey, hikayenin başladığı yer.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
By the time you meet them, Constellation is sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore.
Adamlar yapmış
They're
abi
the
şimdi.
last true explorers in the galaxy, and they're trying to find the answers to some of humanity's biggest questions.
The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. The artifact, if you could place it on the table here.
Oh my god, look at how it's coming together. That means there's a set built by an intelligence outside the settled systems.
It's definitely an eclectic cast of characters. You've got Sarah Morgan, the ex-soldier and adventurer, now Constellation's leader.
Sarah Morgan.
The theologian.
Şu Morgan
believes that
soyadı
there's
var ya.
definitely something else
Ne
out
kadar
there.
güzel değil mi?
Noel, the gifted scientist and Sarah Morgan's protege, and Walter, a very successful businessman in the settled systems and Constellation's financier.
Anything goes as long as you have the money.
There's also Vlad, the ex-pirate, Sam Coe, the former space cowboy, and Barrett.
You know what I hate about these pirates? Completely resistant to my otherwise irresistible charm.
The journey you take with Constellation is just the first of many you'll embark on. The Settled Systems is home to all kinds of different stories, people, and adventures for you to uncover.
Abi biz burada izlerken hayranlıkla bakıyoruz.
The United Colonies
Yani
is where
deneyimleme
you'll
kısmında
find New Atlantis, the
düşünemiyorum.
first major human settlement in space. The people who live here value law, discipline, and the legacy of humanity. They consider themselves the true children of Earth.
You ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, even get your UC citizenship?
New Atlantis isn't the only city within the United Colonies. The city of Sidonia on Mars to this day serves as the largest mining facility for the United Colonies. Beyond the United Colonies' reach, you might find yourself in a much more wild and independent coalition of star systems. This is Freestar Collective Space.
Aa çok iyi.
The capital of the Freestar Collective is Aquila City.
The Stone Root Inn is an Aquila City fixture.
Yani aslında öyle bir şehir var ki karakteristik şehirler var mesela. Bu güzel. Bir Vahşi Batı hayranıysan ona benzer bir şehir bile var.
Throughout the settled systems as a pleasure city where almost anything goes.
If you've got morality issues, this definitely isn't the job for you.
Burası da Cyberpunk gibi. Çok iyi ya. Altına Starfield. Keyifli.
Everyone has been chewed up and ground up by Neon. Try not to get yourself killed, all right?
Outside the bounds of civilized space, there are still plenty of unclaimed systems to explore, but these areas are also home to the most hostile factions in the galaxy.
The great serpent hungers. All heathens shall be made dust in time.
A new face. Is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile?
Abi oyun çok güzel ya.
They think the galaxy
çok
is
iyi.
theirs. They
Çok
are
iyi.
wrong. It belongs to the Crimson Fleet.
Gerçekten
It
bir
always
role
has.
play hani diyorsak
In Starfield, we're
Skyrim'den
pushing our cities and
belliydi ya.
settlements further than we ever
Nasılsa
have before. It's all
çıtayı bayağı
there,
bir yukarı
waiting
taşımışlar.
for you.
Çok
A
çok.
slice of humanity's future.
So, ready to get out there?
Hazırım. Da yeni konsol lazım.
Throughout the galaxy, there are so many things to see and stories to experience. But the most important story is the one that you tell. I'm the type of person who spends hours in character creation, and I think people are going to be really excited when they see all of the improvements we've made.
One of the biggest overhauls was done through our character generation system.
We scanned a wide range of faces from different age groups and ethnicities, and by mixing and matching all that data, we were able to create highly detailed and diverse characters.
We use that exact system to create all of the characters and NPCs you're going to see in the game. So any character you see almost always is a character you could make yourself.
Hey, come on.
Siz
come
ne
on.
güzel oyun yapmışsınız
Okay,
ya.
take it easy. You were out cold. No physical damage. Mentally, the jury's still out. You know who you are? New recruit for Argos Extractors? Ring any bells? Any of this look familiar?
Karakter oluşturma ekranı.
You start your character creation journey as though you're cycling through employee records. You'll pick from a lineup of 40 presets, and that'll be your starting point. Your journey from there can be as detailed or as quick as you want it to be. This new system has more to offer than ever before.
It's also the simplest character generation system we ever had. We let the player get as close as possible to make whatever they want. With the various facial morphs you can blend together, the dermesthetic and makeup, blemishes, scars, piercings, teeth settings. It's a lot, but I think it's the most fun to use.
Character creation is more than just how you look. This is also where you start to decide who you want to be. That's where backgrounds come in. Backgrounds give you a bit of backstory and start you out with 3 basic skills.
From chef to dusty. You know, the crew still has a betting pool about which restaurant critic you must have crossed to wind up here.
What's great about backgrounds is you never know when yours is going to come in handy. You could be in the middle of a fancy restaurant talking to some guy, and suddenly you learn he needs a beast hunter to help track down a monster.
Fine. I probably should stick to professionals anyway, given what happened the last time.
We're also giving you the option to customize your build even
Çok
further by letting you
iyi.
pick up to 3 traits. Traits are completely optional, and they come with their own advantages and disadvantages. You could choose to meet your biggest fan.
By the terror, by the terror! Is it really, really you?
He'll join your crew, and he'll give you gifts if you're willing to put up with his constant commentary.
I can't believe I get to stand near you, breathing the same air.
İyiymiş bu ya.
Every molecule.
My favorite trait is kid stuff. You have to pay some credits to support your parents, but they're very sweet and it's really fun to go visit them.
Honey, we got ourselves a visitor.
Oh my god!
I came across some hostile zealots in space, but because I had chosen a trait that made me the same religion as them, I was able to get by without any issues.
There's another great one that gives you a damage buff when your health is low, but mercenaries will randomly show up and try to kill you. No matter what you choose, there will be plenty of ways for you to tell your story.
Çok iyi bak.
And if you want to remove a trait, there are ways to do that too.
What a view!
Yani her seçimin
for the
sana
eyes.
kazandırdıkları
To another adventure.
her şey var yani. Keyifli.
We'll let you discover that on your own.
Once you've built the perfect character, that's when your journey can really begin. We took what we loved about skills and perks from our previous games and put them together to create an all-new skill system. Each time you level up, you get a skill point, which can be used to unlock or rank up skills. Ranks are unlocked by completing challenges associated with that skill. Challenges become increasingly difficult as you work your way to higher ranks. With our 5 different skill trees and 4 ranks per skill, there's a lot to choose from.
Bunlar da skill ağacı ya.
I like the xenosociology skill because it lets you mind control aliens.
Ha çok iyi.
Boost pack out of the gate. I'm boost packing everywhere.
Zihin kontrolü.
I like maxing out my physical tree so I can get neuro strikes and just punch my way through combat.
Ha bu benlik. Bu benlik.
That was a lot of fun.
Invest in the skills that suit your playstyle.
I'm very much a stealth player. So, I'm out there pickpocketing everyone. A favorite part about being stealthy
Yan kesici.
is slowly creeping through vents like you're in a movie and then jumping out and springing on people.
Whenever possible, I like to talk my way through situations.
This area's off limits. Fine, I'll issue you an access card.
I'm more of a run and gun player.
Ya bu benlik.
I like doing the death from above
Yeah,
thing.
bum,
where
bum,
I
bum.
goose pack over guys and I throw landmines at them. I like blowing stuff up.
Çok güzel gözüküyor. Çok güzel. Fotoğraf modu,
Exploration is a key
yani
aspect
sırf
of
fotoğraf
all our
moduyla
games.
oynarsın bunda.
In Starfield, there are full star systems with new life, resources, and adventures. Our team worked hard to strike a balance between fun and realism. We studied data from NASA and a multitude of other sources to help us make the world feel believable. From the way we approached planetary atmospheres to the way we placed biomes based on the planet's distance from the sun. Once we had created a grounded world, we could start looking at all the things that make that world fun. When you leave a planet and head into space, you'll be navigating asteroid fields, having chance meetings with interesting strangers, dogfighting in space, and exploring derelict ships. It's all out there. Ultimately, it's about rewarding your curiosity, because whether it's on the surface of a planet, the alleys of a city, or the vastness of space, you never know what you'll find.
Mesela GTA 6 çıktıktan sonra yani birçok mesela oyun dünyası için muazzam yenilikler barındıracağından eminim. Rockstar bildiğimden dolayı. Ancak bu oyunda mesela çok ufku açıyor yani. Bayağı bir yani devrim niteliğinde keyifli bir oyun diyebilirim buna da. Tabii çoğu özellik benziyor. O ancak dediğim gibi yani bu sınırın olmaması, yani herkesin bir anlamda özgürce ne istiyorsa yapabileceği, keşif yap, yani direkt adrenalin, aksiyon, fotoğraf modu. Ben çok beğendim ya.
Then you might round out your ship roster with a hulking space freighter to run cargo missions, or even do a little smuggling. For now, though, we're going to take our starting ship, the Frontier, and make some changes. You can customize and upgrade everything you see here. And you have two ways to do
Gemi
that.
kişiselleştirilmesi.
You can quickly upgrade individual systems like your weapons or shields, or you can deep dive and enter the shipbuilder mode. Here you can change anything, from the systems to the look and layout. Adding a new habitat module can give you more room for crew. Adding cowling can change your ship's overall silhouette. An improved grav drive allows for longer distance space jumps. You can even fully customize your paint job to get the exact look you want. The parts you choose to build with don't just affect your ship's stats. They'll also affect what you can do inside your ship. You can have modules for crafting, or for storing and displaying your weapons. Starfield's in-game ship manufacturers bring their own look and feel to every piece of your ship. From living quarters to cargo holds,
yani bu
mess
gemi
halls,
senin her
and
şeyin.
control rooms.
Bu gemiyle birlikte keşfe devam. Binlerce gezegeni.
Our modified Frontier is a practical ship, but with a little creativity, your ship can look like almost anything you want.
It's a bit odd, but one of my favorite ways of customizing ships is I make them look like animals. The HMS Platypus, as I called it.
Evet.
where it had like a giant tail to it. And we've done spiders, we've done mechs. So it's really whatever your imagination is.
Bildiğin Transformers gibi olmuş, gemiye bak.
And while you can build your home among the stars the way you want to, you're probably not the only person who will call your ship home.
Ready to lift off when you are, Captain.
Engines ready.
The Frontier is fueled and ready, Captain.
Some of the members of
Al sana
Constellation can
galaksinin
join you on your
koruyucuları.
journey. These companions can serve on your crew, and they'll always be there when you travel.
We'll be traveling together until we either find an artifact or this lead runs dry.
Each companion
Sarah
comes with
Morgan,
their own valuable skills
Sam
for your ships
Joe,
and outposts,
Barrett.
as well as unique quest lines. Eventually, some friendships might blossom into romance.
I don't know that I've ever really loved anyone except you.
And if you're looking for a little extra help on your ship,
Aşka
you can
dönüşebilir.
always hire additional crew at spaceports.
Got any room on your ship for someone like me?
Çok iyi.
You'll also
Kendi
meet
ekibini de
potential crew
topluyorsun
members
bu
out
arada.
in the world.
İstediğin hani o gezegenlerde bir ekip toplama olayın da var.
I gotta get off this rock.
Assign crew to your ship or outposts, and their unique skills will affect how they run. And just like companions, most crew members can lend a hand in the field. Take Vasco, for instance.
Vasco.
He's designed around the core basics of a NASA machine.
Please avoid getting shot. You might die.
I still wanted to give it almost a humanoid personality, so I elongated the limbs. This tends to make him feel more human-like and give him a little personality.
It is a shame exploration requires so much bloodshed.
Using the shipbuilding tools and crew selection features in Starfield, you'll be able to build and captain the ship of your dreams. And now, let's take to the sky.
Çok iyi ya. Çok iyi. Abi yeni nesil konsol lazım. Ama bunun başından kalkamazsın ki sen. Bir şey söyleyeyim mi? Skyrim mesela hala kaç yıldan beri oynayan oyun sever varsa bu oyun da öyle olacak. Yıllarca oyna. Yıllarca.
Should be exciting and dangerous, and you should feel like you're in complete control every step of the way. We've extended that sense of control to ship combat. It's not about just hitting your triggers to fire your weapons. It's a complex dance between your piloting skills and our power allocation system. Boosting power to your engines will make your ship faster.
Yani buradaki ayarlar kısmı senin yeteneğinle eşdeğer. Mesela motora güç verme farklı şekilde.
And moving your power to your weapons and shields means you're ready for a fight. You should always be on your toes because you're not alone out there.
Düşman gemisi. Şimdi motora güç verdi, daha hızlandı, hızlı bir şekilde onu takip ediyor.
Unlocking the targeting control system skill will allow you to zero in on specific subsystems of the ship you target.
Okey, zayıf noktasını buluyorsun geminin. Süper.
After destroying an enemy ship, you can loot the remains from your cockpit. You can always turn any ship that engages you into scrap. But you can also take a more personal approach by docking with the enemy vessel and boarding their ship.
Tamam, en sevdiğimiz kısım bu. Düşman gemisine bu şekilde kenetlendiğin zaman tabii ki daha iyi. Ganimet.
Once you've taken control of an enemy ship, it's yours. Add it to your fleet and retrieve it at any spaceport. But space is way more than fighting for your life. Just like when you're planetside, there are plenty of sights to see and stops to make on the way to your next adventure. Like these massive star yards. Walk the halls, talk to the crew, maybe get talked into buying a whole new ship.
A civilian in my star yard. Let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you.
Maybe you'll dock with a gigantic battleship, like the UC Vigilance. Or rub elbows with the galaxy's wealthy elite on a cruise ship fit for the stars. There are plenty of personal encounters to be had as well. You can hail any ship you come across to trade, swap info, or maybe even commit an act of piracy.
Let's do this.
When I'm playing, I generally go crazy. I
Ticaret
definitely go like the more piracy routes. I want to take over ships. I'm gonna board ships. I'm like, this is
Ya
now
da korsan
mine. I
olabiliyorsun.
steal all the sandwiches and put them, you know, in my cargo hold that I have specifically for sandwiches. I don't want to play the hero, but I want to
Direkt
go out and
sandviç
just start
koleksiyonu
taking
yapmış bu.
things from people as quickly as possible.
Some strangers might be looking for a little human connection in the darkness of space.
Hello, stranger. I just finished cooking up some food. If you want to come on over, just pop on by.
Some of the best moments are the ones you discover on your own. The thing I love most about Starfield is that it is a Bethesda game through and through. It's really about going to strange new places, meeting interesting people, and getting sidetracked on zany adventures. Then, realizing 2 hours later that you're involved in a completely new story.
You're human. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
That DNA is so present here. It's in our random encounters, it's in our handcrafted quests, and it feels so cool to play it and just make your own path in this universe. There are over 1,000 planets out there, just waiting for you to visit. We want you to feel like explorers, breaking ground on new planets, exploring every inch of a mostly untouched galaxy. We want you to feel hopeful. We want you to feel this sense of awe and wonder.
Kesinlikle ya.
And sometimes a little fear.
Aynen.
We're giving you a massive playground and a ton of toys and just setting you free.
Gerçekten o ya bu serbestlik, bu merak duygusu, bu keşif bence oyunu daha yani en başta bu güzel kılıyor. Çok iyi.
Hey everybody, we've shown you so much stuff, but we thought we'd just take a little break and show you something a little bit different. You know, we put so much detail into our game worlds, and we love the opportunity to bring that into the real world with our collector's editions. And for this game, we've done a watch. It is the Constellation Explorer's Watch. This is the watch that you actually get in the game that acts as part of your HUD, where it's the compass and then environmental information. It connects to your phone to give you notifications and other information. And we've also designed this really cool case that it comes with, Istvan.
Yeah, we really took as much care in designing this case as we did the watch. Our attention to detail in the game totally translates to this. Inspired by the cases that the astronauts used during the Apollo era to bring back samples from the moon. It's got an intricate locking mechanism, authentic, heavy, comes with a Constellation patch, NATO strap, and the overall functionality and believability of this as something that exists in the world, in the Starfield universe.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there, and it even tells the time.
We actually have something else. Now that we're part of Xbox, we get to work with the amazing people on the Xbox hardware team, and together we have created this custom limited edition Starfield controller. It's awesome. It is now, you know, our favorite controller.
We love this because it's inspired by the actual controls of your spaceship. And not only that, we've created the first ever custom headset with Xbox. And this is a perfect pairing with that controller.
Super ya.
It's big with Starfield because we want to give you freedom on a galactic level. The freedom to experience both the exciting planets and the quiet ones. Scanning a planet before you land is a great way to get a sneak peek at the available resources you can use for crafting, building, and customizing.
I think what's cool about this whole system that we generate the planet itself as a procedural content, but the handcrafted content itself comes as the player explore.
Our system builds a planet as the player approaches it. We stitch together
Okay.
a lot of terrain. After that, we
Aslında
have a system
gezegenler
that
gözükmüyor.
adds interesting
Oyuncu
locations for the player to explore.
keşif
creatures to
esnasında
encounter,
açtığı zaman o
or
hani
plants to
map'i
pick
diyeyim.
up.
Bölgeyi açtığı zaman
It allows
şey
us
olduğu
to
zaman
add
yeni
that
yeni
touch
şeyler
of
keşfediyor.
environmental
Gezegenler,
storytelling
mekanlar.
that Bethesda is known for.
Aggressive creatures have been disrupting our experiments. Their habitat isn't far from here. If you could take care of them for us, we would be in your debt.
So
Güzel
even if
yan
your
görev.
friends were to visit the same planet that you had, you would have a different story to tell.
Her gezegenin farklı hikayesi, farklı görevleri, farklı canavarları, farklı insanları, farklı diyalogları. Tam bir keşif. Keşif Survivor bence bu oyun. 10 numara. Yani tam bir role play ya. Of. En sevdiğimizden. Severim.
It's completely up to you how you want to interact with each planet. Whether you want to explore and see what you can find, harvest resources and be on your way, or simply take in the views.
Aynen.
With the help of your scanner, you'll chart the uncharted and discover exotic wildlife.
Yani istersen hiçbir şeye bulaşma, sadece manzarayı izle.
Figure out that certain creatures and plants, you can build an outpost and produce resources from those plants and animals. You can get experience and rewards for fully surveying planets and fully surveying a whole system.
When we were concepting these creatures, we really wanted to think of them as natural to the environment. We didn't want alien monsters, we wanted native wildlife. Something you've never seen before.
When it comes to our exteriors, when the sun moves, all that light is calculated in real time through the atmosphere. Our biggest goal for lighting with Starfield was to make the game feel more filmed.
Evet. Zaten film gibi duruyor.
Lighting and color to really make it feel more cinematic.
Tam yani sinematik bir şeyi hep var. Direkt insanın her yerde keşifte fotoğraf. Baksana şuraya. Deli gibi fotoğraf modu kullanılır. Deli gibi.
After some exploring, you can find a spot to set up a base camp. Outposts can be built almost anywhere on any planet. And the habitat modules come in all shapes and sizes, filling all different purposes. You can even live in them.
Manzaraya
Assign
bak.
crew and companions
Aman
to work at
Allah'ım,
your
öyle
outposts
güzel bir
for
yer
added bonuses
keşfettin
and
diyelim.
set up
Güzel manzara.
extractors
İstediğin
to
yere
harvest
üs kuruyorsun.
resources while
Her
you're away.
gezegende bir üssün var.
Something cool we have this time is
Canın
we have
istediği
a
bir
new
gün
fly
oradasın.
cam,
Canın istediği
where
bir
you
gün
can toggle
buradasın.
between on-foot building, or you can now use a top-down isometric camera, which helps plan out larger parts of the outpost and placing those larger halves. So that way you can really plan your structures and what the overall feel of your outpost is. And then when you're on your feet, you can really decorate and fine-tune things much easier.
Çok güzel be. Manzaraya bak. Adamlar yapmış.
Add crafting and research stations in your outpost to utilize any resources you find or already have.
Mod your weapons to adapt them to your playstyle. Different weapon sights and scopes, larger magazines, a selection of grips and barrels, different ammunition like explosive rounds. All you stealth players out there will surely need a suppressor.
Susturucu olsun kesinlikle.
You can also choose to go hands-on with melee weapons.
Itemler çok güzel ha.
I think it's always a delicate balance between like
what's realistic, what's sim, and what's Hollywood. And I think we sort of err on the side of like, what's fun for the player.
With Starfield, we've completely overhauled our combat. It's more dynamic, the animations are more fluid. It just feels great.
We probably have more mods and more weapons in this game than I want to say any other game we've done before. There's a lot of variety.
Upgraded gear is just one of the many factors to pay attention to when engaging in combat. You may need to switch things up based on your environment. Gravity is different for each planet, and boost packs are excellent for getting around. And for giving you an edge in combat. Sometimes you'll even feel like you're flying. Zero-gravity environments pose a different challenge. Firing a ballistic weapon in zero-G will actually push you backwards. Energy weapons, on the other hand, offer a more stable shooting experience.
We also have mag weapons. These are high-powered electromagnetic induction ballistic arrays. Each barrel has its own targeting laser and can dish out some serious damage. Whether you want to get up close and personal with your own two fists, or you like more compact weapons like pistols and submachine guns, or maybe you prefer
Silahlar bayağı çeşitli. Bayağı. Oo bu ne lan? Oo bu çok iyi.
Starfield's got you covered.
Ben çok beğendim ya. Sınır yok. Bak şimdi keşif oyunundan başka bir oyuna döndü. Abi sınır yok.
Thanks again for being with us today. We are just so grateful that you've taken the time and spent it here. I know there was probably a lot to take in. There's a lot to the game, even more than we could show here. You know, as we play it, we're always sharing these unique and special moments that only a game like this can bring. When I think about what makes it special, it really is the people here. This game is a reflection of the incredible and passionate team that made it. All of them putting something special of themselves into it.
Adamlar harbiden.
So let's hear some of their favorite moments.
Yani bence
I love the way
kaç yıl oynanacak bir oyun. Skyrim'in uzay hali.
I love the creatures,
Ve modern
the
hali.
exploration, every biome is different. The word that comes to mind is vast.
Engin.
I like to use our photo mode to take rockstar
Ben bunu
photos.
bekliyordum.
I just
Fotoğraf
love that
modu abi.
constant feel of discovery and wow, I can't believe that there's more here.
I'm most excited about our outpost building systems.
My favorite part is every time you step out on a planet, it's a unique experience.
You spend all this time building your ship and you see it on the landing pad. These things are gigantic. It's the kind of thing that you just can't get anywhere else.
There's something about seeing a tower over in the distance and going, I know the gravity's low here. I think I can make that jump.
My favorite part is biomes, spaceships,
audio design,
planets, the day-night cycle.
Those details matter to me.
Diplomacy, exploration, freedom,
the ending.
Vasco, obviously.
I love the robot so much.
The incredible amount of worlds we created.
Sniper rifles, come on.
Lever action, rocket launcher,
brain sprout.
Adamlar
Some people might
yapmış
find
be.
creepy. I don't know. I know it's right, Ben. The thing that I enjoy most about the game is the freedom to be who you want to be, do what you want to do. It's what you've come to expect from a Bethesda title, but on a much bigger scale.
İstediğini yapma özgürlüğü.
On behalf of all of us, we can't wait for you to play Starfield and make your own special moments.
Let's go. Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Eylül 6 Eylül 2023. Vay vay vay vay. Gerçekten bu oyun yani Xbox seri S, X aldırtır. Aldırtırır yani. Konsol tabii ki aldırtırır. Tabii bilgisayarda da gelecek. Evet, çok beğendim dostlar. Yani keşif ve sınır olmaması, sınırsız olması, her oyuncunun kendi karakteristik aldığı kararlar, yapabilecekleri o sınırsızlık aslında oyunu çok güzel kılıyor. Beğeni yorumunu eksik etme diyorum. Uzun bir video oldu. Umarım keyif almıştırsın. Ben çok keyif aldım. Görüşmek üzere. Dikkat et kendine.